Hello friends, welcome back to the next session on operations planning, scheduling and control. Now let's begin with our learning. In this particular schedule or module, we'll be understanding and dealing with the concept of Toyota production system. The learning objectives. At the end of this particular session, the learners will be able to understand what do we mean by Toyota production system, what are the various roles of operations planning that have been taken in Toyota production system, and lastly, how do we implement an activities and under the Toyota production system. Now let's understand what do we mean by the Toyota production system. The Toyota production system, that is TPS, is a Toyota developed strategy or integrated socio-technical system that includes its management, philosophy, and practices. So it's a particular system that has been developed by Toyota Corporation, that is a Toyota production system, and it is having a certain integrated approach of developing a social system which will help to create a management practices of the philosophy and the foundation of certain practices. The TPS is a management system for the car manufacturers that coordinates the manufacturers and logistics as well as interactions with the suppliers and customers. So what are the various qualities that one needs to possess? What are the various well-coordinated series of activities between a manufacturer and a supplier, between a consumer and a particular purchaser and so on, or a manufacturer and a logistics person? All those things need to be conducted in well-coordinated way, and those particular perspectives are being considered in TPS, that is Toyota production system. The approach was forerunner to the more general term, and accordingly, the lean manufacturer, that is Ono Taichi, has given a certain concept of extension to the lean manufacturing, which is called as a Toyota manufacturing system, production system. The basic foundation and stability or basic foundation stone of Toyota production system is the concept of stability, above which the lie various factors, that is the standardization of work, the leveling of schedule of work, and the concept of Kaizen. The two pillars of Toyota production system are just in time and the quality. And the goals of Toyota production system are highest quality, lowest cost, shortest lead time, and highest service level. And it is always aiming for respect for the people. So the people who are associated with business organization, maybe these particular people are internally related or maybe are externally related, controlling or respecting of those people on the basis of foundation stone as to just in time and giving an effective delivery of quality. The Toyota production system is into existence. Now let's understand what are the various procedures or activities that have been followed in case of a Toyota production system. The Toyota production system is having a certain philosophy that lays a certain foundation stone. So the foundation stone of Toyota way philosophy is the combination of Heizunku, that is a stable and standardized processes, and the concept of Kaizen. So these are the various foundation stone based on which all the other activities are being undertaken. The two foundation pillars of Toyota production system are just-in-time and JITOKA, which takes into account the various different activities that have been conducted in business organizations. In terms of just-in-time, the continuous flow, the takt time, the pull system, and the quick changeover are all these particular activities or the processes which has been controlled or which has been undertaken by the business organization or a manufacturing unit. In case of an JITOKA, the concepts such as built-in quality, the andron, the error proofing, separation of men and machines, and so on are the concepts that have been fulfilled, and those particular perspectives have been performed. In case of people and teamwork, the concept as to the continuous improvement and waste reduction techniques have been undertaken, and it always focuses on how do we continuously improve our activity. So respect for the people is the second perspective, the middle perspective, wherein the foundation stone is being laid, and it is always aiming for people and teamwork. So there should be a proper coordination of teamwork activities, composition, team size, support for the internal and external management, and so on, and providing a good benefits for the people who are associated within the organization and outside the organization is the concept of people and teamwork that has been associated in Toyota production system. The TPS, it is having the another footprints or the various factors with respect to the highest quality, lowest cost, shortest lead time, empowered employees, best safety, and the high morale. So these are the various activities on which basis the TPS, that is Toyota production system, can achieve or scale its heights, and the various continuous improvement activities, the Toyota philosophy, Heijinku, stable and standard process, and Kaizen, on the basis of these particular foundation stones, the activities can be achieved and the better quality of service delivery can be taken to the people. Now let's understand what the various goals or practices in the Toyota production system. The various goals and practices is number one, to design out the org burden. So whichever activity or whichever level of activity or a series of activity is an overburden, then from those particular perspectives, we need to understand as to how do we identify those activities and how do we design a overburdened activity to a normal stage of activity. This particular activity needs to be eliminated because no activity should go in waste or a certain way. And when the particular machine or a particular activity gets overburdened, there are higher chances of getting that particular consideration in vain, and it may hamper the production capacity or the quality of a certain product. The next perspective or the second factor or the goals of practice is eliminating the waste. Elimination of waste is essentially important, and on the basis of the conduction of various activities, every organization must aim to see that how do we reduce or how do we eliminate the waste that have been associated. So elimination of waste, that is MODA, is essentially important, and on those particular basis, reduction of waste is essentially important, and it needs to be considered at the greater extent level. The next consideration is process value delivery. So whatever process or activity that we are conducting in a business organization, all those process delivery activities should be undertaken in a very better and effective way, and the process delivery should be very effective. So every activity should be well coordinated in a sequence, and all those activities should be conducted in an effective way as to how do we deliver the product to the customers in an effective time period. So process value delivery is essentially important, and it must be conducted in the specific timeline or in the specific period. Designing a process capable of delivering. So we must have a proper design of processes, which is always capable of delivering a proper effective product or a certain commodity in a specific timeline or a specific point of period, which creates a certain capability of delivering the product in the specific time period. And lastly, required results smoothly. So whatever results that we are looking for, all those results must be required in smooth way, and proper smooth flow of conduction of those activities needs to be undertaken in a very better and effective way. Now let's understand what is the concept of Toyota production system. So in 1992, the Toyota Motor Corporation issued the first formal description of TPS, that is Toyota production system. And this pamphlet or the particular leaflet or the brochure or the document that was made related was amended in the year 1998. Inverse rulers in leadership and workers are committed to good transformation, and TPS is based on two philosophical pillars. And those particular philosophical pillars are making only what is required, only when it is being needed, and only in the quantity that is being needed. So it has been defined as only making only what is needed and only what it is needed and only in the amount that is being needed. So this was the first philosophy of TPS, that is we need to manufacture, we need to prepare only what is being required and within what it is being needed and only in the quantity that is being needed. So only optimum utilization of the resources is, in a simple terms, is the concept of Toyota production system, which was been developed by Toyota Motor Corporation in the year 1992. With the various changes or with the various amendments of the formal description, the amendment was being undertaken in the year 1999, and hence certain other activities were also being implemented. The second perspective, it focuses on JIDOKA, that is autonomy, which means autonomy with a human touch. Toyota has created a number of tools to help people put these ideas into reality and adapt them to a specific corporate and business needs. So as per the changing needs of a certain business, we must try to create and identify what are the changing needs of the business constitution and the environment, and how specific corporate and business needs are always been fulfilled in a very effective way. Now let's understand what the various applications of TPS, that is application of Toyota production system. The application of TPS or Toyota production system focuses on various factors, that is just in time, the concept of Kanban, that is the concept of JIDOKA, the concept of Heijinka, the concept of 5S of safety. So, and accordingly, the TPS standards lays a certain foundation stones or the consideration of the factors of management, system, standards, manufacturing, and logistics. And the 5S, Heijinka, just-in-time, JIDOKA, and Toyota production system are the components of the floor that has been prepared, or a particular set or a series of activities that has been prepared in case of an TPS, that is a Toyota production system. Now let's understand what are the various principles of TPS, that is principles of TPS. The first principle of Toyota production system is the continuous improvement. So that's the concept of Kaizen. So continuous process improvement, it looks for a certain consideration wherein TPS always focuses on any activity, any production level, or any considerable work that we are taking in a business organization, should be always aiming to continuously improve with a certain activity. So whatever activities that have been undertaken, we must always try to improvise those particular activities, and this particular improvement should be always in a continuous way. You should not stop at a certain level, that after achievement of a certain target, when the organization or the particular machine or the particular process may stop at one level. It should not happen in that particular way, and those particular improvement activities must be very continuous. Respect for the people. We must have a respect for the people who are associated with the manufacturing unit, who are working as a part of an shop floor level or in the low level management or the top or middle level management. And accordingly, the respect for the people who are within the organization and outside the organization we must have respect towards them, whether they are the suppliers, whether they are the dealers, whether they are the customers, whether they are the competitors, whether they are the consumers, or whether they are the employees of the organization. So accordingly, everyone must be respected, and the basic principle of TPS is also focusing the respect for people. The right processes. In the concept of right processes, TPS focuses on we must conduct only such activities which are right for the business organization, and only right process activities must be undertaken. When a right process has been undertaken, the effective and optimal utilization of resources has been undertaken, there is a continuous improvement, and we have a positive approach towards each and every activity that we are conducting. Continually solving the root problems. So whatever problems that have been associated in the business organization, we must always try to continuously solve those problems, and how we can look at a certain perspective that we can solve those particular root problems in a very effective way and within a specific or a specified time period. So continuous solving of those problems is essentially important, and from those particular consideration, root problems must be solved very effectively. Now let's understand what the 4 P's of TPS, that is Toyota Production System. The first P of TPS is philosophy. The second P of TPS is process. The third P is the people and partners, and the fourth P is problem solving. So these are the 4 P's of TPS, on which basis one needs to understand and identify how we can solve a certain situation, and a better creation of a healthy environment in a business organization can be undertaken. Now let's understand what are the various components of Toyota Production System. The various components of Toyota Production System are takt time, the flow production, the pull via Kanban, and lastly the leveling, that is Haijunka. So in this way, these are the various components of Toyota Production System, on which basis the various production activities can be undertaken in a very better and effective way, and all those activities can be conducted in such a way that the product quality is more extensive, it is more qualitative, and all the activities have been conducted in a very effective way. Now let's understand what are 4 types of production that have been undertaken in TPS. The first one is the unit or the job type of production. The second is the batch type of production. The third is the mass production or the flow production. And the fourth is the continuous production or the process production. So in this way, either the production activity can be undertaken in unit or job, batch type, mass production or the flow production, or continuous production. So the TPS cost cut down, or it focuses on the reduction of the waste, improving the efficiency, lowering the prices, Toyota capacity, it decreases, try to decrease the waste throughout the manufacturing process, and it directly relates with the creation of waste. So waste is being identified via the just-in-time, Kanban, Taki time, and Kaizen. From those particular basis, the TPS, that is Toyota Production System activities, can be conducted in a very better way. So Toyota Production System focuses on what type of level of production activity can be taken, how we can implement various activities for the better development of the business organization and the situations, and how those activities can be conducted in very better and effective way. Now let's summarize what we have learned in this particular session. In this particular session, we have understood what do we mean by the Toyota Production System, that is TPS, which planning is required in case of a Toyota Production System, and how do we implement the Toyota Production System in the business organization. I hope you must have enjoyed the learning in this particular session. We'll stay connected and we'll continue with our learning. Thank you so much for your patience listening. Thank you.